Today I'll be doing a back-to-back sound comparison of 3 different heads: a Remo Classic Fit Ambassador, an Aquarian American Vintage Medium, and a traditional calfskin head from Stern Tanning. The snare drum in the demo is this beautiful 1940 6.5 by 14 Leedy Broadway Standard. The bottom head in all 3 scenarios is an Aquarian American Vintage snare side, and the wires are the Pure Sound 20-strand Twisted series. This is my first time using these, and I will say more on them after the demo. This is also my first experience using calfskin heads, and I found that it's not as simple as purchasing one online and throwing it on, especially on an oversized vintage drum like this one. They're also not cheap, and you should expect to pay somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 for a 14-inch head. There's not very many companies tanning hides these days, or people around who know how to hand tuck them. Luckily, where I live here in LA, I was able to grab my drum and bring it down to the Pro Drum Shop in Hollywood, where they hooked me up with a custom tucked head. Stan and his brother Jerry own and operate the shop, which has been around since 1959, and I can't say enough good things about them. The heads they carry are from Stern Tanning. The owner, Jeff Stern, did an interview on the Drum History podcast, and I will link that in the description in case you're interested in learning more about his process. I'm not sure what the thickness is of this head, but it's fairly thin and mounted on a very lightweight wood hoop.
One of the problems that you may have is trying to find one of these. These have been here since the 60s. I grew up with these. Tucking tool. I don't know if they're even available anymore out there. And then here's your first tuck. I do the first one by hand. You gotta go around, underneath, and boom.
How long does it take to dry?
You want to give it a good 3 days, but it's inside that tuck. This is where the problem is.
After the playing examples, I'll give you my final thoughts. I'll be posting a separate video that will only be the playing section of this video in case anyone wants to rewatch just that section at a later date and skip all my commentary. All right, here we go. So my final thoughts are more about how these heads performed live in the room and not necessarily how they came across in the recordings. You can judge that for yourself. The Remo Ambassador is my go-to head, and for me it felt like home. It was the most crisp of all three heads and the most resonant as well. It's super versatile in that it sounds great tuned way up high or down low. You can go for that wide open sound with lots of overtones or use dampening and get a more focused sound. The Aquarian head definitely achieved its goal of trying to capture some of the qualities of animal skin. In playing it, it felt softer than the Remo head. It was somewhere in between the other two in terms of resonance. The thicker coating acted like a dampener and reduced the overtones compared to the Ambassador. Aquarian makes a vintage thin model as well, so in case you're looking for a more wide open sound, you may want to look into that option. The Calfskin felt really nice to play. It had a soft and mellow attack with almost an immediate decay. The note was warm and rich, and then it was gone. And while the attack and feel was softer, the head matched the volume and projection of the Aquarian. If you're interested in picking up a Calfskin head from Stern Tanning and don't live anywhere near a shop that carries them, you can contact them directly. You might also try to post a request in one of the Facebook vintage drum groups. The members of these groups are always great resources and very helpful. Before I cut this off, I did want to mention one more thing. This is on the 20-strand Twisted Series snare wires. Although they worked well on this drum, I was told by the guys at Pro Drums that many people have complained that they tend to bow on the head when pulled tight, which causes an unwanted buzzing. And the reason I didn't have this problem is because my drum has a bridge system, and I installed them so they stretched out beyond the shell, allowing them to sit flatter on the head. I just wanted to throw that out there in case anyone is curious about trying these out. And if anyone has already tried them, please weigh in and let me know your experience. I'd love to hear your opinions on this comparison, so please share your thoughts in the comments. If you have any questions, please leave those as well, and thanks for watching.